Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome your faces back to, well, I guess a new video. Today we're checking out the Marathon Server Slam. I've been playing it all morning. We pushed about 5 hours on stream. If you didn't get a chance to see it, the VOD is on the channel, but we're going to be talking about first impressions. I know everyone's dying to hear about it, the Roblox extraction shooter, or all the other godforsaken names people are calling this thing. I know everyone just wants to hate on it. But please trust me when I tell you, it's actually pretty fun. Does it have its flaws? Yes, it does, and we are also going to be talking about some of them that I did notice today. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing like a full freaking deep dive on everything that's wrong and right with the game, but that's only because I'm on day one. There's so much like more that I can do. So like I said, first impressions, I'm just going to be talking about what I liked, what I didn't like from what I was able to play today, and just kind of give you my little slice of the pie and see what you guys agree on, don't agree on, and if you guys got any opinions you would like to share, or if you're playing it yourself, please let me know what you liked and disliked as well for your playtest. Okay, now, moving into the positives. I guess the big one for me, love it or hate it, I like it. I'm gonna say it's the art style, like I said. And the negatives, it works against it for the items and like identifying stuff, but positive-wise, I think it looks good. Compared to what it looked like in the alpha and all that early footage that I saw, especially watching like people like Dr. Lupo play it, like in that private playtest that they did, I thought it looked god-awful. But with all the lighting, with all the new like gritty, the darker effects that they've done to certain items, I think it works for the game. I think it's pretty. Like I think one of the things that really shocked me was just the amount of attention to detail on top of the, I guess, sci-fi comic book-esque, you know, like kind of thing that they're going for. I don't even know what to really describe it as. It's just, it's unique. It's beautiful. It's different. I love it, and you know what I mean. Like, you don't have to like it. I like it, and for me, that's a huge plus. So for me, that's a good thing. Moving on to number two. For me, I'm gonna have to say it's kind of the guns. That's kind of what shocked me the most. I've only dabbled with maybe 9 of the weapons that are in the game so far, and I must say there hasn't been really a single one I didn't like that I've picked up. I think they all feel really good. I like them even more when you get attachments on them. And I also really like the little mods that you can put on them that give you like little unique buffs. Like some of them give you health back on kills. Some of them reload while you're not using them. And I think that's really cool. I like those little augments. I like those little modifications. I think they're absolutely huge for the game. And it works. Another thing I think is very huge with this game, it's got to be the TTK. In regards to the AI, kind of mixed on it. But in regards to other players, as of right now, the only players I've really encountered are two bars for like their shield, and I absolutely love it. So that'd be probably like the green shields, I think it is. But so far, TTK feels amazing. I haven't noticed if there's better ammunition in the game. So far, it just kind of seems like it's the guns that do more damage based off of the rarity rather than better ammunition. I actually really like that more than, you know, some of the other games that do like the different types of ammunition. I know Delta Force was like blue, green, gold, all that type stuff. I don't really like it personally. I'd rather just have like a higher rarity gun, you know what I mean? Kind of keeps it a little bit more simple. But also like for games like Tarkov, the way that they do it, it kind of just works. I just don't like the, you know, the rarity with the bullets and shit. It's just kind of weird to me. But that's also just me. So you know what? You don't have to agree on that. It's just kind of, you know, it's a personal thing. You know what I mean? But I love the guns. I think all of the guns feel great so far. I have zero complaints. Like I said, they hit good. They feel strong. They definitely don't feel weak when it comes to fighting other players, and they all definitely feel pretty viable for the most part, as long as you're not like doing stupid stuff, you know what I mean, like bringing the starter pistol against some dude with like a blue AR, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. But for the tiers that they kind of slot into, they feel very, very good for what it is that they're supposed to be doing and the way that you can utilize them. I also think, depending on the kit or the shell that you're running, other weapons definitely are more suited for that playstyle rather than other weapons, and as you kind of learn, it feels better. It's a lot more of like a smoother experience. You kind of get like this, I guess like symbiotic kind of cohesiveness, and it's nice. Maybe I'm reaching, I don't know, maybe I'm not, maybe you guys kind of feel the same way, but there's a lot of other games that kind of do that where certain things just feel better with other characters or other play styles, you know what I mean? I think, honestly, I think the last thing, because like I'm already pushing a little longer, but I guess the last thing, we'll just talk performance. Performance, it feels great. I'm running the game on maxed out settings on a 5080, and I'm streaming it on 3 different platforms, and I think I'm not dropping below 100 FPS. Now, granted, my rig is completely freaking bonkers for what it is, so I can't really speak for everyone else, but for the most part, I'm also hearing that it's pretty well balanced. My buddy's playing on a 3070, he's playing on medium high settings, he's rocking about like 100 something FPS with no issues. So I'm hoping it's running smooth on everyone else's, but for me, in my experience, when the game is running and when you are in raid, there was no frame drop, there was no lag, there was... Honestly, it was smooth. It was very, very well, I guess well optimized, in my opinion. That's, you know, that's kind of where I sit with it. Alrighty, guys. Now, let's get into, I guess, the bad. Really, it's kind of a short list, but then not at the same time. So... First things first, I had issues logging into the game. I don't mean that in the sense of like booting up, but in the sense of the game didn't want to pop up on OBS because they're still doing that nonsense of it needs to be a display capture rather than a game capture or window capture. And for some reason, doing it as a display capture caused an issue with agreeing to their terms of service. You can see me messing around with that in like the first 5-10 minutes of the VOD, in case you guys want to go check that out. But I literally tried everything. It took me disabling the freaking display capture for like 30 seconds in order for my cursor to appear properly. I thought that was stupid. I thought it was really weird. I don't know if that's just a bug with OBS or if that's a bug on Bungie's part with the game, but I did find that very annoying. I also found it very annoying that I couldn't just use my keyboard. It required me to use my mouse in order to do that. It's just, I don't know. That was probably like one of the biggest things that frustrated me. Moving on to the second one. This one is probably the one that I'm not liking at all. I'm hoping this is fixed in the final version. I'm not seeing too many other people encountering this one, so it's kind of just, I guess, me for the meantime. But if you guys have experienced it, let me know. But randomly getting disconnected from these servers. I have to let you guys know I'm playing on a Cat 6 cable. My internet speed is literally 300 up and 300 down, so there's no reason why I should be getting disconnected. I paid like a little too much money for that considering where I'm at, but that's just because I want to not have to worry about that. Now, my issue is not that I got disconnected, because it's a play test, right? Things are bound to happen, bugs are bound to come up. My issue is that I noticed there was no reconnect. So it seems as if your game crashes, or maybe your power goes out for a second, maybe your PC bricks and blue screens. There's no reconnect. It just instantly kills you. There's no ability to come back in. I hope that changes, because I think that's a little too brutal. I think that's a little unfair. Personally, I don't know. It don't sit right with me. Like, usually with most games, you have the option, especially like with Tarkov, you have the option to just reconnect back to the game, you know, whether or not your game crashes. Sometimes the game just bugs out and you have to restart. You know, you all F4. But I don't know. I just thought that was really weird. I was in the middle of a tunnel. I literally wasn't doing anything, didn't fight nothing. And next thing I know, it's telling me I'm disconnected. I tried to load back in. There was no option to reconnect. I just, you know, logged back into the game, said I was dead, said I just died. So I was like, okay, cool. And yeah, that's kind of it for that one. I guess moving on to the third negative that I didn't really like. Honestly, it's a double-edged sword. So for this one, I both hate it and I like it at the same time. It's gonna have to be the AI. So the AI, it's not that they're necessarily boring, but they're kind of like overly tanky. Like, I don't know if you guys have fought any of the little generals or whatever, like the gold armors or the purple armors. Maybe it's just because we're going into it with green and blue gear. Maybe it is kind of tier-based, but holy shit. First impressions, oof, man. Let me tell you, I'm getting my butt kicked. So we went in with about 300-400 bullets. I think we walked out with like 1 magazine and still didn't even kill the guy. And that was between me and 2 other people. So I don't know. Maybe they're a little bit overtuned. Maybe they need a little bit of tweaking. Like, I like that they're a threat, but at the same time, why so many bullets? Considering, like, you know, the other guys with like the shields that run around, they kind of take like 2 or 3 magazines, if that. They're not that hard to kill. I don't know. It's a minor complaint on mine, but it's, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, if I'm pointing stuff out, things I'm kind of noticing might be a little interesting. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, I think that's kind of it for the complaint list. Oh, no, actually, I lied. Number 4. So this is actually a really big one. So it both works against the game and it's really cool about the game. It's so the art style and the colors. As much as I love how vibrant and how colorful everything is and how beautiful everything looks, I have no idea what anything does unless I take time out of the raid to sit there and read a description on an item that I've picked up to figure out what it is, what it does, and what its value is to me as a, like, you know, a raider or a shell going into the, like, a raid. And I think that's very, very cumbersome, because that could be the difference between life or death. You know, going in, you want to be able to kind of glance at something and know what it is you're grabbing before you touch it. Tarkov does it very well. You know what it is you're picking up before you even grab it. I'd like to say Arc Raiders does the same thing. You know exactly what you're grabbing before you get it, and it also does a very good job with the colors of the tier system to let you know, hey, this is mechanical, this is medical, this is money. They have symbols and icons for that. The ones that they have in Marathon, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and this is why I said this is a negative for me. It's all very same. It's very hard to distinguish what it is that you're picking up. I think the implants and the cores, as much as they look different, I think they need to kind of make them look a little bit more different, or maybe they need to make those icons a little bit bigger. So like currently, like with the guns, they have swords. Currently with like the med kits, they have like little tiny shields or little like squares with like a circle in it. And it's just a little too hard to see when you're in the middle of running through a building, possibly, you know, trying to, you know, get in and get out. You have to stop for a second. Oh, hey, this is a antivirus pack. This is some gel. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I think if there's anything that needs to be worked on, it's definitely the icons for the items in the game. I think they're a little too confusing. I think a lot of them look a little too same, if that's the kind of the right word that I'm looking for, because it's just a little too hard to distinguish what the hell it is that you're picking up. I guess the last thing, and this will be the last one, if I had to nitpick, the last one's going to be the UI. From what I've heard, it's a lot better than what it was, but I still think it's a little janky in the sense that there's too much going on. It's a little confusing at times, but it's nothing that you can't learn at, like, over time. Nothing that, like, you can't put the reps in and kind of get down. But the menu system is definitely a little too complicated still, but like I said, for all we know on launch, it'll be a little bit more refined, but that's just something I'm nitpicking on. Like I said, it's easy enough to where if you put the time in, you take the time to learn it, you can learn it, but it's not one of those, hey, I'm going to jump in and I'm just going to know what the hell I'm doing. Other than that, though, I mean, that's pretty much it for the negatives. I mean, please, you know, let me know if you're further ahead of me in progression or whatever. I'm not really going too hard in the paint, kind of just playing and enjoying the playtest. Come launch, though, that's a whole different story. Once we get further ahead, you know what I mean, I'll definitely nitpick a bit more, especially because we are probably going to be paying the $40 for the game. So going off of that, you know what I mean, that is what it is. But anyway, that's going to be enough of the negatives. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of it for first impressions. Like, I can't really think if I'm missing anything. Like, the contract systems are really cool. It doesn't really fit in like the positive or the negative. I think they're interesting for what they are, but I think one thing I didn't like about the contracts was the way that you kind of go about accepting them or activating them. It shows like an accept or, you know, not accept on like the bottom of it, but you have to click it in the center. It was a little weird. Hopefully that kind of gets adjusted, because I just thought it was a little gimmicky. But other than that, I mean, the environments are beautiful. The POIs are really cool. I hope they're able to clean up the UI a little bit more. The abilities feel great. The little stat bonuses that you get when you put certain parts on your character that kind of help feed into like the gameplay loop that it is, the shell that you're playing, feel amazing. But other than that, I mean, like I said, gunfights are great. I'm loving it. It feels better than Arc Raiders right now. I know a lot of people are kind of keeping their eye on the game, and they're kind of like, hey, is it even worth downloading? It's only about 15 gigabytes on Steam right now. You got 3 more days if you're seeing this. I highly recommend that you guys just at least go try it, even if it's not your cup of tea. Just, you know, see if it even might interest you. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how do I say it? I felt this way with the cycle. I was like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to touch it. It looks goofy. It looks gimmicky. I picked it up. I gave it like 6 hours. And you know what? It kind of got me hooked. I played it like pretty religiously for a good 2 months before I put it down. So, I don't know. Like I said, if you're remotely interested in looking for something different, or even just kind of like an off game, pick it up, try it. It's free for the moment. Moving forward, though, on launch, like I said, I'll get back to you guys on whether or not I think it's worth the money. But as of right now, in its current build, I don't know. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. I wouldn't really give it an 8 out of 10. But I don't want to, you know, shoot it in the foot and give it a 6 either. So I'd probably say, first impressions, I'd give it a 7. I'd say it's got a lot of potential still to be better, but it's got enough there to where it feels polished enough to be fun, and there's still, how do I say it? There's still Okay, it's a good product, but there is still room for improvement. I guess that's the best way I can say it. As much fun as I'm having with it, it does have its flaws, it does have some issues, but it's nothing that can't be fixed as long as they're willing to give it the time and attention. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I'm very happy that I got a chance to play it. I'm very excited to play it. I'm gonna keep playing it, and if you guys would like to come hang out, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button and come check out the stream. We'll be probably playing it tomorrow morning as well, and I hope to see your faces there. And please, once again, I think the one thing I'm very most appreciative of all of you guys, especially with these marathon videos, is you guys have been super respectful about your thoughts and opinions, and I hope it stays that way. I hope it continues to be that way, and I look forward to reading them and responding to you guys down in the comment section down below. So thank you all so much for being awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have a great rest of your day.